Welcome. Hello. This is Evan Says. It's a podcast where I'm Evan and I say stuff. I am extremely hungry right now, guys. I have set a record today. I don't know if you're going to see this on my phone. I tutored for 13 straight hours. So yes, while I've been doing comedy for 20 years, I also private tutor people, and I hit a record, man. I got up early and I started at 7 a.m. and at 8 p.m. I finished. I tutored 13 kids, mainly getting ready for tests where you apply to private schools, some college stuff. But yeah, one after another. It's pretty amazing. And I was able to do it all. Pretty much dressed like this. I mean, I didn't wear a hat, but still, I was dressed like this. So yeah, I've been tutoring like over 10,000 hours for my career. Probably over 15,000 hours. But yeah, I've been doing on the weekends in the fall when it's busy like this. It's like 12 hours in a row sometimes. Like I get up like 7 to 7, 7 to 6, 8 to 6. Last year's maybe only 8 to 6. Now I'm like, let's just get up early. I know on Saturday I have to get up at 6 a.m. for someone, but I mean, I think I'll have a break during that Saturday. I may not. I don't know. But I'm hungry. I haven't really eaten during this 13-hour stretch. I don't think I've had a full meal today. I've had lots of like nuts, pistachios, snacks here and there. So should I just call this like a cleansing day? Should I just call this like intermittent fasting? I don't know. But more kids tomorrow, every day, 7 days. That's what I do. I roll. Also do comedy. Had a great show at Long Beach State on Tuesday. They had Night of Narratives, where I was essentially the host of an open mic event, and the rain was not kind to them the day before, so we did in a lecture hall for probably a science lecture hall, but the kids were great there at Long Beach State. I got to perform all my stuff, break it all back in again, because in a few weeks I'm heading to Tennessee for a show, and then I'm doing Cal State Sacramento in November. So while I was tutoring for 13 hours straight in the fall, I don't really get a chance to watch football live. I watch a lot of the highlights for the NFL Sunday Ticket, and I don't have some. My family has Sunday Ticket now, but I can't take advantage of it. So what I do, I follow the scores on my phone every so often. I'll see maybe people yelling on social media about things like how the Jets are bad or the Giants are bad, and man, we got all of it today. We had both teams lost again in very different ways. Let me just start with the Jets. As a Jet fan, now my Jet fandom goes back maybe to the 90s. I think I started out actually as a Giant fan. Like in home economics in 6th grade, I sewed a nice little New York Giants football helmet in home ec class. And when the Giants won the Super Bowl in 1991, I was a Giants fan. But then my sister, growing up, went to private school with Boomer Esiason's daughter. And I was like, okay, he's now with the Jets. I'm going to be a Jets fan. So that's the reason that I'm now a Jets fan. And man, I feel bad for my fan base because we are really getting it. I would have loved to go if I was in the area. I would go to a Jets game because I think like it was like half empty. Like you're not going to get the Carolina Panther fans traveling to the Jets. And it was just, it was probably, I could tell it was dreadful as I was like looking at the box scores every so often, being like, wow, Justin Fields is really that bad. And it's funny because, you think, after a game when you're on the press conference and you think everything, you've learned your lesson, and then you go back out there the next week and you still don't learn your lesson, and you just can't win. And I remember the Jets drafting Aaron Glenn. I was excited about it. I remember I was at Buckley day camp, which was actually where my sister went to school with Boomer's daughter. And I was a counselor there, and I was talking with another counselor about, oh yeah, we got Aaron Glenn, and he was fast and he was feisty, and now he's our coach. And man, I don't know. See, the thing you can't do as a coach, and really I think any public figure, you can't beat the media. You can subdue the media. You can deflect the media. Since I signed up for the whole ESPN bundle thing, I've been watching The Captain with the whole Derek Jeter biography. And he never defeated the media. He was just able to just kind of like keep him at bay, let him simmer, have his go-tos. But you can't beat the media. And Aaron Glenn, a few weeks ago, even as last week, he's been trying to beat the media and trying to like put down reporters for their questions. And that's because sometimes politicians do that to other media groups. That never really works, because here's how you got to deal with the media. Yes, there are individuals in the media, but as a group, as an organism, the media is a very reactive, unintelligent entity. Like, they have their framework, they have their reflexes of what to ask with certain answers. You can't win one way or the other with the media. So if you say, I want to try hard, maybe they're going to say you're trying too hard. Or maybe you're going to say you're not giving your effort. They're going to be like, oh, you're so lazy. Like, they're never like, you're going to do something and the media is immediately going to contradict you. It's just the nature of life. If you've ever posted something positive on social media and then had someone like say it was bad, that's the media. They are there to take you down a peg. Now, you can always acknowledge them and be kind to them and build affinity with them. But is it worth your time to do that? A little. It's not like you need to make the media your friends. The media is not your friends. They are there to get headlines, and they are there to get clicks, and they are there to get people reading. Nothing wrong with that. That's what you do. But do you want to feed the beast? That's the question you got to ask yourself if you're a head coach. The head coach of the New York Jets, Aaron Glenn, you got to stop feeding the beast. You have to realize that these people are your allies in a way, because what he's doing is he's kind of creating opponents that he does not need. He is creating opposition he does not need. We would love nothing more than for the Jets to win one game. But since we're about halfway there already, let's just ride this thing out and see what happens. Because there's a guy, quarterback for Indiana, I guess his name is Fernando Mendoza. And the ironic thing is, I know a Fernando Mendoza. He helped hire me at University of Akron about 20 years ago to do comedy. And I stayed in touch with him, and we're Facebook friends. And maybe I'll get him on to talk about on my other podcast to talk about Fernando Mendoza. It would be an awkward conversation probably after 5 minutes. That would be it. So you don't, we're looking now at like next year. Like, we already know, like, the Jets are done. Like, they're 0-7, they're done. They could have won maybe 3 of their games so far. Now it's getting so bad where like you couldn't talk yourself into them possibly winning a game. It just seems like every year with the Jets, you have that first week 1 game where you almost win and you know you have the potential to win. But once you go 0-1, so goes your confidence for the rest of the season, and you're basically starting the season in debt. And the Jets have to stop being in debt. The Jets need to make some money. They got to have a profit, because right now these Jets are a sad state. They were a good team at the end of last year talent-wise, but now it's like Braylon Allen got hurt. Garrett Wilson never gets hurt, but was so like suppressed by what he was able to do on offense. He's now hurt. Sauce Gardner today got hurt. Justin Fields got hurt once already this season, and Tyrod Taylor usually gets hurt. So there is something fierce and stanky hanging around the Jets facility. We need to find a way to exercise this negativity, or at least this voodoo, whatever's affecting the New York Jets. We must get it out. We must get the Jets cleansed ASAP. I don't know how we're going to do that, because the way things are going, I don't want Aaron Glenn back next year. I don't even want Darren Muji back next year. Joe Douglas did a great job building up the roster, including Aaron Rodgers. And the first thing Aaron Glenn showed up and did was he made an enemy out of Aaron Rodgers. And then he made an enemy out of some of the media's questions. And you can't do that when you're a public figure, especially in the New York market. And hopefully he will learn. I don't know who would come in. I know who would come. I would want to come in. I would want John Gruden to come in. I want to come in, put his foot down, establish his presence, have some say over the Personnel decisions, because I don't see what Darren Muji has done so far, even though it's only 1 year. We got to see how the rookies pan out. Joe Douglas built the cupboard pretty good, but now we have nothing. We have no offensive weapons. Our defense underachieves. The best thing about this team, which has been for a couple of years, is the punter. The punter is the best thing about the Jets. Nick Folk is one of the best things about the Jets, and they don't even use him as much as they can. They turn down these kicks, so they let the clock run out, or they try to throw a play that they can't throw on 4th down, and it doesn't make any sense. So let's see. Can you tell I'm hungry? Let's see what the Jets do over these next few weeks. I'd like to see them lose just for the sake of calming everyone down. But eventually, right now, you see Jet fans, and this is really for any team when you're going really bad. Fans and media, right now, we're still kind of in the anger phase. We're still kind of like pissed at them and everything. But in a couple weeks, when they're 0-9 or 0-10, we will basically be in apathy about this team for the season and have to have that hope of the offseason and the draft. Will the coach come back? We don't know. Does Woody Johnson want to pay another coach? You know what? He may have to. If he can get John Gruden, that's the dude. I'm going all in on that guy, not anywhere else. That's my guy. He wants to get back in. He still has the fire. He's a good TV personality. Doesn't matter. He knows how to coach. He's coached before. And right now, we got a guy making rookie mistakes. Okay. That's the Jets. Now I was following the Giant game on my phone a little bit. Giants versus Broncos. I'm like, they're winning. They're shutting them out the half. They're winning. They're up 11 at the end of, or 19 at the end of the third quarter. And man, I sometimes, it's like when I was following Knicks Pacers game 1 and they had that big lead in the fourth quarter, which is one of the most traumatic sports events of my life. I guess the way they were coming back, it kind of looked the same way with the Giants, I guess, blowing this lead to the Broncos because the defense was so good for 3 quarters. And then all of a sudden, I guess there was a turnover, I'm sure. Do you like how I'm talking about sports, having not seen sports today? I feel like a lot of people do that. I can pull this off. But you can just see as like the percentages of who was going to win was changing. And you could see as like the deficit, when they were kept coming back. And even as the Giants took the lead with 30 seconds to go, which honestly, they should have just done a crappy running play. And then with like 10 seconds left, run the ball, get the touchdown, scatterboo, bop. He should have run the ball in. And then that's it. Giants would have won. But it takes such perfection really out of the kicker, because the kicker, missed 2 extra points today. It takes so many perfect things to happen, just like how the Mets were able to get eliminated in the playoffs. I did this on a previous episode. The Mets did everything perfectly to make sure that they did not make the playoffs in the most heart-wrenching way. And today the Giants did everything perfectly for them to lose this game in the most horrific way. So I guess congratulations. Hard to say. I think the Jets have some fight. I think we're excited about our quarterback. It would have been nice. I'm not part of them. I like New York. I want to see New York teams do well. I don't wish ill on the other local team. I don't care as much about the other local team. I more look at them with amusement because what do I have? I'm a Jet fan. We have nothing. We have no equity. We have no cachet. We have Joe Namath. And 50 years later, nothing else. Plus, anyway, wasn't alive then that I know of. So we are now with the Giants, lost that game perfectly. And, you would have liked them to be in a better position now, but now they're probably going to go into the Philadelphia. Philadelphia wants revenge. Philadelphia will probably knock them down to 2-6. And it's a shame because that division is so much more wide open. Like the Eagles really aren't as good as they're coming out to be. Dallas, though, is finding ways to win games. Washington's having a down year. Jaden Daniels just got hurt. So it would have been there for the Giants to make a move. And if they would have won this game, probably would have wanted to keep the coach and the GM around. But if you're blowing leads like that, maybe for sure you got rid of the defensive coordinator. But Dable's it seems like a decent coach. I'd like to have him on the Jets, but I don't really want him. I don't like that his name is Dable. I think whenever I hear Dable, I feel like I should just say Gable. Can I just call him Brian Gable? Brian Gable is the coach of the New York Jets because Dable is a very unconventional name. I feel like I need to autocorrect the name Dable when I hear it. Like Siri did not hear me the right way when I was trying to get transcribed by it. So that's what I think. I think that the Giants could have had something, and now they're going to be catching up. They're going to about to get into the anger phase. Now they're more in like a real hostility. Like when you got a couple wins, you got still some hostility. But when you're an 0-17 like the Jets, we are pulling for something. I don't know what we're going to pull for. So that's what New York football is like these days, as I'm talking about it from 2,000, 3,000 miles away. It stinks. I'll enjoy watching the Giant highlights. I think it's an exciting game. It looked like it was probably the most exciting game of the season. Had a great comeback and had back and forth motion. I just couldn't imagine what it would be like with all the close-ups. I never obviously saw any of the cutaways. I'm sure there were lots of good cutaways at the sideline of Coach Gable getting mad, but who knows? All right. I guess one more thing I want to say. I never advertise politics on my podcast because I don't want to get on that. But I got a lot of posts in my feed. I guess the algorithm thinks I'm interested in what the No Kings protest was over the weekend. We don't have a king. Fine. Do we want to? Here's what I want to say. It's great that people can go out and protest injustices. And it's great that groups as a community can come together and speak out about things. It was I'm sure it was a protest about, it's a good community building protest. It had some good slogans on it. Who isn't against democracy? Who is for fascism? Don't know many people that are. But, that's a perception. And if you want to go out there and do that stuff, great. Probably could be even better is if you just had a voter registration drive and were getting signatures for things, signing people up to vote. That could have been great. Maybe you could have spent the other time doing things to enhance yourself, enhance the people around you. But to vent on an afternoon, a nice afternoon for a few hours, where obviously there is some hate mixed in with the message, you kind of want to stay away from those things. You kind of want to stay away from protesting things, and you kind of want to be bigger than the group, if that makes sense. You can find good groups to be a part of, but I think there's better ways to spend your day than having something that is technically not real. There's no king here. And I mean, I am amused by our president. I think it's amusing, like when he trolls with social media and they send him like AI memes and he puts them out. I think it's entertaining. He gets good heat. Is he a perfect individual? Of course not. That's the best part about him. That he goofs and says things and so like imitatable. It's mimicable. It's great. But we don't have a king. People would probably like to run the country and become a king. I just don't know. It seems like he just he writes a lot of executive orders, and he seems like he works a lot with his cabinet. He seems very transparent. He seems like he has these cabinet meetings and they're like being filmed and there's press briefings all the time and he's talking all the time and he's putting out videos. We didn't have that the last guy. We know more. But also, like, if you are protesting that stuff, it doesn't really help the party identity. Like, I feel terrible for Democratic voters not because I don't like you guys as people. I was a registered Democrat. And I think Democratic voters are great people. But if you're basing your whole message, and this is what happened last year, if you're basing your whole message on on that you're anti that other guy, what do you stand for? Because that other guy isn't going to be around next time around. What do you stand for? So once you have things to stand for, and once you can find things that the people want fixed, because there's always going to be stuff that you want fixed. That's what you got to stand for. Because the guy that you're against, he doesn't care. And the guy that you're against is in power. Is he going to try to be extra destructive? I don't think so. But I think he has a lot of reasons to be angry. I think he took a lot of crap while he wasn't in office, a lot of targeting, but hey, whatever swings one way eventually swings back the other way. That's all I'll say. I kind of said a lot of word salad. So is politics. All right, I think that's all I'm going to say. One thing I do want to mention is from doing a virtual comedy show, sometimes I have to fish out other old songs, and I am going to maybe every so often, not just Evan says, maybe it'll be Evan sings. Maybe I will play for you guys, because I'm never going to record some of the songs I've written. I'm never going to try to like release them or anything. I mean, I could record it and just like play. I may just start playing some of my lesser known, never played songs on this podcast. Maybe I'll take that audio and maybe I'll turn it into an EP, just me playing. I mean, you can put anything out these days. I have a lot of tunes I could probably release to you guys. So I have like songs about, kids and driving and everywhere. I'm surprised how much I wrote. Eventually I got to everything so far in life, and I will continue to create more. So good day. Lots of tutoring. Going to get food. It's tough to be a Jet fan. Almost as tough to be a Giant fan. No, it's worse being a Jet fan. Good for you guys to go out and get with your community over the weekend. And maybe I'll sing in the future.